YouTube, I'm out here with my chickens and decided to give you a little tour of what it looks like to start out with chickens. Initially, when you order them online, they'll be really small chicks. You'll need a brooder, you'll need a heater or a heat lamp, you'll need some chick feed, so it has higher protein than what the hens or layers feed are eating. You'll need chick grit if they start eating any food like grass or treats, anything other than their chick feed. You'll need chick grit. It helps them digest because chickens don't have teeth. Other than that, once you move out of the brooder stage, you'll need a coop. This is my mobile chicken tractor. I use this for my meat chickens as well, but for now it serves the purpose for my hens because it has shade. This is where they kind of like to congregate inside or when it offers shade on either side. In the summer they'll use this, but in winter they'll be elsewhere. So here's a 25-pound chicken feeder. It has holes that they can pop their head into. It has layer feed. It's not my favorite because the insides here on the bottom can actually get moisture trapped in there. Not rainproof. I left a review on Amazon, but it works for summer, and if I keep it off the ground, then there's no moisture. I just got this cool little thing from Premier One. It's a grit station, so that's what you'll need for chickens when they get bigger. You'll switch them to this layer grit, crushed granite. And then layer hens need some oyster shell or some sort of calcium, so that's oyster from Tractor Supply. And then I have a little bit of a supplement in here, which is kelp powder. It's just a great source of minerals and vitamins. It's waterproof, rainproof, and it's plastic, so there's nothing's gonna seep in from the bottom. I put out some salt for them just for more minerals. I don't know if they eat it. This is kind of a new setup that I have for them. Their water, they've been extra thirsty, so I have two little setups for them. Well, a third one for the small chick who can't reach that one. I like this water because it's stainless steel and the nipples, a lot of water comes out when they push really lightly. It's just set up on a stick, but you can be fancier. I just thought that was easy and clever to use a stick. And they need nesting boxes to lay their eggs. And chickens need perches as well to sleep on. Yeah, there's some eggs in there, which I'm thankful for. This is Premier One netting for poultry, so it's smaller holes than, say, for example, the sheep. It goes all the way around for 100 square feet, so they stay in this every other day. Then I move the whole setup, I break it down, and I'll move it to the next paddock. Solar panel chargers that power up and electrify the net. So, well, this is my setup. You don't necessarily have to rotationally graze them. However, I like this method because they get access to fresh grass every other day. They are not eating their own filth, so I keep them moving, and it reduces the chance of parasites. It helps fertilize different paddocks in the pasture. It gives them access to new grass. They aren't overgrazing because when chickens are left in one spot for too long, they can rip up the grass and totally make the place barren. They love getting new grass. So do my sheep as well. They get so happy when I open them up into a new pasture, and it makes me so happy. So you have your coop, netting to keep them safe from predators and then to keep them contained, nesting boxes, shade, grit station, feed station, water station. To move all of that, I have a gorilla cart wagon, and it really does well across this terrain, bumpy terrain. And then an extra little bucket of their feed, so I don't have to go back and forth with that metal thing. And what I'm forgetting is a dust bath. I don't have one out for them right now, but they weren't really using one when I had it out for them in this big bowl. So I stopped lugging that around. And then what I noticed that they do is dig a little spot of the earth and then just take a bath in there. I think they prefer that better, but I probably will offer them a dust bath soon here. Just when I was giving them that option in a big bowl, it kept raining, and then the dust bath would be like a mud bath. They need dust, so they just find their own little spots in the ground to kind of roll around in. The Parasite Cycle, Joel Salatin said, to keep your chickens 3 to 4 days behind your sheep, so that that way the parasite cycle actually, if there's any parasites, it actually takes effect. So I have my sheep about 3 or 4 days ahead of my chickens, so the rotations is they're gonna catch up to them, and hopefully if there's any type of parasite in the manure of the sheep, then the larva will hatch by that time, and then the chickens will eat it. So that's the theory. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but that's just what I'm aiming for. So we'll see. The basics for having sheep is very simple. It's much more simple, I think, than chickens. They really do enjoy the shade, so I built this shade shelter, but really they just need shade and protection from the sun and rain and different elements. Of course, this is not a wind protection. They'll be in the barn for windy nights and stormy nights, but anyway, this is just for shade. And they need water. That's the number one thing. They need good forage, which they do have a lot of. And then hay for when there isn't forage. But with rotational grazing, that's kind of the point, is that you section them off, so that way they have forage hopefully throughout the whole year. And you don't necessarily need to depend on hay. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure over the winter how much I'll need or how much I'll have for them. And they need minerals. So this is some salt. I use Redmond agriculture salt. And then of course they have their kelp, which they really love. So I give it to both my sheep and chickens as just minerals and vitamins. They don't really seem to enjoy the salt that much. Hello, girls. So sometimes if I notice they're not eating any salt, I'll just get a tiny little piece and plop it in their water, because they need salt, they need minerals, but they just don't seem to like gravitate towards it. Hello, babies.